Hey, what's going on, guys? Shibby here. I'm back. We have some things to talk about, don't we? We're going to be talking about Team Fortress 2 and a few other interesting topics that I want to bring up. So apologies about not having a video in a while, but part of this discussion is I just have not really been interested in playing Team Fortress 2 or really any other games to really have content. It was sort of like a nice little break while, other real life issues such as planning a wedding, which is really exciting. She said yes, just like I told you in that other video. The one from, I believe, 4 months ago. And also just work here at Machinima. I'm recording in the office and just other real life things that have just taken the place of YouTube. And when I want to make videos, it's you want to do it, right? You don't want to just do it like, oh, I gotta do it for views. Gotta put up a video every day, or you gotta do it for that money. It's not what it's about. I just want to update you guys and kind of talk about a few things that I think could be sort of interesting. So, as far as gameplay, we are watching some soldier gameplay. I believe my loadout is Black Box, which since the last time I played, I believe it was the gunmetal update that made the Black Box make it so when you hit something, it's up to 20 health. No longer just 15 flat, it's up to 20. So I feel like it's kind of a nerf, but I still like it, especially as we're just playing right here on just like a public Valve server. I don't have a pocket medic. There's no real chance that there's going to be a medic on the team. You never really know, and it's a fun loadout. And then for the secondary, I'm using one of the two banners. It kind of depends. I think the gameplays, I'll rotate them. And then I believe I'm using also the escape plan just for some movement speed. But yeah, it's mostly a Black Box soldier for these gameplays. We're going to be doing some normal Scissors King of the Hill Badlands. And then also, you'll also see some TF2 Halloween, which we'll talk about in a second. So this video is going to be mostly covering why I've kind of lost interest in Team Fortress 2. And I think that is the same case. I'm not going to speak for these guys, but also Star and Germa. From just what I've seen from them, just kind of watching their streams or just listening to them speak. Oh, so I'm using the whip. The whip is awesome, so that's my melee weapon. I just saw that in the gameplay. So I want to talk about why TF2, it's frustrating that they do not have matchmaking right now, because Valve has a track record with Dota 2 and Counter-Strike Global Offensive that they have competitive matchmaking, and it's really good in those games. So it's frustrating for me to see why they would not have it in Team Fortress 2 already. It's like a little too little, too late. That they would have some kind of MMR or a matchmaking rating, and they have an idea of how to do this. So why have they not done it yet? I agree getting tossed into a lobby, a 66 lobby with just random people, could be frustrating, especially if like a party size not factored in if you go into like a pre-made 6 versus just people solo queuing. Obviously that needs to be factored, but we need to start somewhere. So why hasn't that happened yet? It's not like TF2 is on the bleeding edge of dying just yet. So why are we not experimenting a little bit? I mean, the community has been fairly helpful, and is it just a little too late? I'm not really sure. Like take my own channel for instance. Like the game on TF2 just has not been fun, really. Like jumping in and just pubbing for 10 or 15 minutes, there's really no point. It feels like I'm not progressing as a player. People are just AFK and spawn trading or doing the conga. Like that's cool and fun, but if I want to go in and kind of have a more competitive experience, there's really no way to do it just through the game. You have to go through a third-party site like TF2 Lobby or something. And that kind of takes me out of the game. I want it just in the game. And they've done this with Dota 2 and CSGO, so why haven't they not done this with Team Fortress 2? I know they could do the 6v6, the competitive typical mode, or like a 9v9 Highlander. Either one. I mean, let's start somewhere. I feel like compared to the other games, we've seen Dota 2 blow up, CSGO blow up. It feels like TF2 has just been really less loved by Valve, and that's really frustrating. On screen, we're watching a little trade up that I did with the Halloween item with the gargoyle. It's kind of strange. I don't know, but I tried it out. So what I mean is, like, let's look at the gameplay right now. We're looking at Counter-Strike Global Offensive. You can just click Find Game. You can either do Deathmatch if you want to do something, just kind of practice your aim, mess around with loadouts. You can do Arms Race, which is kind of fun, where you kind of level up your weapon. Demolition is one of my favorites, where it's more of a casual competitive mode, I like to say it. There is strictly casual mode, which is going to be like a 10v10 typically, or the competitive mode, which we all know and love. And they do it so well why not Counter-Strike? I mean, no, why not Team Fortress 2? I'm kind of doing this all in one take. I apologize, say something wrong. So I feel like what they've done with TF2 is kind of half-assed. And see, we're queuing up for Demolition right now. Like, oh, matchmaking, it takes so long to find a game. I believe I find a game here in 10 seconds. That's pretty quick. I mean, they understand how to do this matchmaking system with good ping. You know, players typically around the skill level. I know MMR is not really factored into Demolition or the casual game modes, but right away, I'm playing, I'm making a difference. That's something that I miss from CSGO and playing TF2 is there's no like what people call the butt clench moments where there's really, you feel like you're making a real huge impact on the game. You get really nervous, your hands are shaking, you're trying to making big plays. It just doesn't feel that way when I play Team Fortress, and I love the economy in Counter-Strike. I love that you can make big plays. I like that you can wipe a whole team if you're really good with the AK and you just get a nice spray. Like, that feels good to be really powerful, that you can die in a second, you can kill in a second, and that's not the case with a lot of the TF2 classes. I mean, they're just different games, but being both made by Valve, I feel like they are comparable. So it would be nice if TF2 would be a little less casual and they had a tighter rule set that we didn't need to subject ourselves to the mercy of custom servers that could be potentially run by, you know, pinion spamming, you know, asshat admins. Ugh, that was quite a mouthful. So it'd just be nice if there was a tighter rule set. And there's where is it? They've announced matchmaking, but is it too little, too late? Like, why haven't they done it yet? And I think one of the arguments is the community would not be fragmented. People say, well, oh, the Counter-Strike community is totally fragmented. That's totally not true. I think the TF2 community would be completely fine. And let's take an example from an upcoming game from a competitor, that being Blizzard Entertainment, right here from Star. 18 new characters, over 19 new cosmetics. Now, I'm not interested in Scream Fortress, and right there from the man himself. I mean, it's just Overwatch is going to be a big deal, and I think Team Fortress 2 needs to make some big changes, or it's just going to burn out. I think there's more interesting new mechanics. There's some more dynamic gameplay here in Overwatch. We're watching just a little, I believe this is Widowmaker. I think TF2 and Valve, they need to make some changes. And it would just be nice. I've kind of lost steam on playing the game just because it's just not as innovative. I mean, it's 8 years old at this point, and why not? Why not do some crazy things? I think gunmetal is a good step, but they really need to do more. What else do I have written down here? Sure, there could be item bans in the TF2 competitive. I'm positive that they would be able to figure that out. And the issue of stopping cheaters and trolls, I'm sure they could take note from any MOBA out there how they have a penalty system for leaving. There's a report system. I don't think that will be a big deal. Also, the TF2 community is quite mature, not sometimes, but most of the time, when it comes to just playing. I mean, if you go on to maybe Call of Duty, sometimes on Counter-Strike, there's a lot of meme players, or H1Z1. The lobbies are really crazy. Let's see here. And this is all from over 200 hours of playtime in CSGO. It's kind of my opinions here. And usually when I play matchmaking, most of the time you're populated into a good server that's ping appropriate. And this is not looking through a browser for something really specific. Although you can do that if you want to. Maybe you have your server you like to go to, or you like to go into like a surf server where you practice on your mechanics and all that. There's an option there. It's not like, all right, you have matchmaking, therefore server browser's dead. I mean, there's a balance here, and Valve really has dropped the ball here when it comes to giving TF2 a little spice of life, and it's really just, for me, it just has run out of steam where I don't feel any kind of player progression. Like, for example, Heroes of the Storm, you can level up your character and earn new skins, you get a mastery skin. There's just not that anymore for me in TF2. It just feels like, why am I pugging? I don't feel like I'm really progressing as a player. People are not really taking it serious in lobby. Why? I don't want to go through a third-party site to get this experience. Why can't it just be built into the game? Valve has had experience doing it. So that's kind of just my thoughts right now. I will be making more content soon. I apologize about the long wait, but I kind of just wanted to get this off my chest. I know the thoughts were kind of fragmented, as the community would not be, but just kind of how I feel here. So we did a little bit of regular TF2. I'm trying out this new map here. I believe it starts with it's like Solgen or something. I haven't played this one yet. This is my first time playing. It was pretty fun. You know, King of the Hill, I like that a lot. And Halloween went pretty well. So anyways, guys, Shibby here. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys sticking around. And those are just my thoughts, and I'm curious to hear from you guys in the comments. Yeah, that's kind of it. So, here's Shane. I'm Shibby, signing off.